grew up at this church, but that really didn't help me out because when I came back here to be on staff, I still had to ask the question, who are we and what are we about and what are we doing here? You know, as a leader of a church, it's so easy to get wrapped up in trying to be hip or cool or attractional and appeal to the masses. But when it comes down to it, as a leader, I have to ask myself the question, what are we doing here? What are we about? And how are we going to create and foster an environment where people meet God and are transformed by the power of Christ? 9 years later, I find myself here asking that same question. Who are we? And what are we about?
We are a family, primarily like Asian because it's Chinese for Christ, but we're very accepting of other people.
Asian and loving.
We are also Asian, and our cars will take up 2 parking spots.
We're yellow. We like Asian food.
Not completely Chinese.
We never eat anywhere that costs more than $10 a person. We keep track of debts really well.
Okay, yes, we're Asian.
Well, most of us are, but that shouldn't define who we are as a church. We are much more than an ethnic group. We have leaders, musicians, artists, and scientists.
And yet somehow we managed to find unity amongst all of our differences. Hey, take a look at me and Andy.
Elaine and I, and everyone in this church, share at least one thing in common.
Christ reigns supreme in the center of our lives.
And for that reason, we on the English Ministry Council are doing something big.
It's gonna be huge.
And awesome.
And it may seem unexpected, but this has been months and years in the planning.
And we know, after careful deliberation and prayerful planning, that you will love this.
But before we tell you what's happening, we'd like to bring you on the journey that brought us to this place.
So let's ask ourselves again, who are we as a church? What do we stand for?
It's ringing in the skies like cannons in the night. The music of the universe plays, singing you